If you don't laugh, you will cry. That's the only words I have to say for this country, is that if you do not laugh about the state of this country, especially our media, you will cry. Because please tell me why I literally had to spring out of bed and literally talk about this, but please tell me why ITV decided to dedicate a whole segment to discuss the threats of not extremist religions, not extremist ideologies, not grooming gangs, not transgenderism, not socialism, not Marxism, not, they didn't even take the time to discuss what's going on in Nigeria. I'm still yet to see any of mainstream media talk about the genocide happening in Nigeria and in Congo, but they decided to talk about the threat of Roblox. Roblox. That's how down bad the ITV woke media is, that they are now saying that Roblox, they are now insinuating that Roblox is the reason why we are having an increase in, just this right wing movement amongst young people. Guys, please look at this video.
ITV News has uncovered alarming extremist content on the popular children's gaming platform Roblox. In collaboration with researchers at the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, we spent weeks on the platform posing as teenagers. Our investigation found multiple examples of extremism, including a game allowing players to shoot Muslims worshipping at a mosque, Nazi emblems, and players being offered far-right costumes to use in the game. Roblox does have parental controls, but we found that all of this content was available to access even with the age filters activated. We showed our findings to the UK's independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, who says children and teens should not be using Roblox, and a warning that this report from George Hancorn contains language and images which you may find upsetting.
Swastikas, far-right dress-up, and this game that encourages players to open fire on a mosque. This is all real gameplay footage on the world's most popular game app. Roblox boasts roughly 4.7 million daily users in the UK, and its largest cohort are teens, spending on average 2 hours a day playing it. So this is how Roblox looks if you're playing on your laptop or on a PC. So it's a gaming platform allowing users to create their own animated worlds and join others by searching for keywords. Now, it's rated 7+ here in the UK, but there are strict content filters for those under the age of 13. But posing as a 13-year-old, we were still able to access this extremist content even with parental controls switched on. Working with researchers at the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, we've been monitoring hours of live gameplay to see what British teens are being exposed to, and what we found was pretty shocking. One game features our character posing as a school shooter, then entering a mosque to carry out his rampage.
Like that.
Go to the link. Check it out, yeah.
And here, players in another game encouraged us to sign up and support white supremacist group Patriot Front.
We don't get banned unless we usually say anything, so if we just kind of do passive activism, Roblox will never freaking snap at us.
Now, I want to make something exponentially clear, because I know someone in the comment section is going to say, you condone racism, you condone fascism. No, I don't. I'm the number one person to always say that I do not condone violence at all. So I do not condone people going into mosques and attacking people trying to pray. I do not condone people bombing mosques. I do not condone violence. I do not condone fascism. I do not condone racism. I do not condone anything that was shown on this segment on ITV. Second thing I also want to point out is that, yes, social media and video games can have an influence on young people. So when people see these things, of course, they might get influenced. I'm not going to ignore that fact. The same way young men can be influenced when they watch porn, the same way young girls can be influenced when they watch the Kardashians. Like, young people always get influenced. However, the reason why I have such a huge problem with this ITV segment is, for one, they only emphasize white supremacy. Of all the supremacies there are in the world, white supremacy is the only one they want to focus on. And I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Of all the problems in the world, I can assure you that white supremacy is the least problem that we should be focusing on right now. The least. Okay, if we look at all the number of attacks, if we look at all the number of terrorist attacks, if we look at the group of people committing knife crimes, if we look at the group of people, assaulting children, white supremacy is not even in that, what do you call that? It's not even in those statistics. When was the last time you heard there was a white supremacist attack? And I'm so sick and tired of the media doing this. They constantly make it seem like white supremacy and the far right and far right extremism is the biggest problem that the West is facing. And statistically speaking, you guys research the statistics for yourself. That is not true. How many white supremacist attacks have we had here in the UK? How many white supremacist attacks have we had in the USA? How many white supremacist attacks have we had in France? It's literally 0 to none. Honestly. But if I was to ask you how many young girls have been assaulted by migrants, oh gosh, the numbers are huge. How many young black men are out here just carrying knives and just stabbing people like it's fun? The numbers are huge. So again, they keep making this very minute issue, such a tiny issue. Again, someone tell me when you saw a white supremacist attack in the last decade, and they keep making it as if it's such a huge deal. The second problem I have with this is that there's this certain clip, and I'm going to insert it, where they show these men, Roblox, running around the police van, and they are carrying the England flag.
This is all real gameplay footage on the world's most pop.
Once again, trying to demonize the movement, okay? Because we have seen an increase of people wearing the English flag. We have seen an increase of people waving the Union Jacks with the whole Raise the Colours movement. We've seen that. But for them to show that little segment, they're basically trying to say that these people are being influenced by Roblox. They're not being influenced by the fact that their towns and cities don't look the same. They're not being influenced by the fact that their young children are being assaulted. They're not being influenced about the fact that all their churches are being knocked down to create mosques. They're not being influenced by the fact that their schools are not even allowing their children to celebrate Christmas and Easter to appease other cultures. No, it's because of Roblox. So it's like they are saying it without saying it. They are insinuating that Roblox is the reason why. I said this at the beginning. They are insinuating that Roblox is the reason why we're having this increase of extremism and within young people, when that's not the case. Young people are sick and tired. And young people are sick and tired of seeing their parents sick and tired. So once again, they're trying to paint a very dark image of the movement. Because again, guys, you guys can watch my videos. I've gone out and I've spoken to a lot of English people. The people wearing the English flag, people wearing the the British flag. And I've never received any hostility towards them, okay, except for like one person, but he's an idiot. That will tell you what the movement is about. Now, the third problem that I have with this, sorry guys, my arm keeps cramping, so if my arm is wobbling, the third problem I have with this is the fact that they said somewhere in the clip, what was it again? This is the problem that British teens are facing.
Working with researchers at the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, we've been monitoring hours of live gameplay to see what British teens are being exposed to, and what we found was pretty shocking.
British teens. Oh, so now you remember how to mention people's cultures. Now you remember. Because when Axel Cabana did what he did, it took you guys about 6 months to finally tell us he was a Rwandan. When a black man stabs somebody, it takes you guys a week to finally tell us this is a black man, this is a Caribbean man. When a migrant does something, it takes you guys a week to finally tell us this is a migrant. But when it comes to this Roblox, you guys, British. Now you guys are quick to let us know. Like, guys, like I said in the beginning, they are saying it without saying it. This is how marketing works. You say it without saying it, okay? Because it's the same thing that they did with, I'm not sure if you guys remember earlier this year when, I forgot where it was, but a man drove into a crowd of people. The man even looked Middle Eastern. And then within a split second, they said it was a white man. it was a white man, but they didn't have that same speed when it came to Axel Rhoda Cabana. Now, the last problem that I have with this segment is that there is so many bigger issues in the country to focus on, and this is what you guys decided to speak about. Let me once again make it very clear, I don't condone violence, I don't condone Nazism, I don't condone people attacking mosques, I don't condone killing or anything of the sort. I don't condone it. But of all the segments, I would have loved if that segment was dedicated to what is going on in Nigeria. Has ITV even spoken about what's going on in Nigeria? What's going on in Congo? What's going on in Sudan? Have they even spoken about Christian genocide at all? But you decided to make a segment talking about how Roblox is what's leading to British teens becoming radicalized. Something that is not even reality. Roblox is not even reality. But we are dealing with real life issues here in the UK where young girls are being assaulted left, right, and center. Okay? Where people are being knifed down. Where people can't even walk around with their phones in their hands anymore. If you don't want to talk about what's going on in this country, talk about what's going on all around the world with Christian genocides. More Nigerians have died in Nigeria than they have Palestine. But they don't want to talk about that. What? Woke TV is down bad. They are just down bad. Like, if this is the news stories they have to come up with to try to convince us that patriotism is bad or the British flag is bad or anything that has to do with conservatism and just wanting to protect your country is bad. If this is their example, and if you're stupid enough as well to even sit there and believe it, something is terribly, terribly wrong with you. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my rant.